Good afternoon, AP Management Team and representatives of VEI. Thank you for joining us today to watch the 2020 VEI Intern Marketing and Corporate Communications final presentations. At this time, we ask that you please mute your mics and hold your questions for the Q&A, which will take place following each presentation, which will last approximately 10 minutes, dedicated to comments. Please note that this event is being recorded. And now for our first presentation. Daniela, you can begin sharing your screen.
Okay.
Are we good to go?
I'm ready.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Anna Bromfelds.
And my name is Daniela Francis.
And this summer, we had the opportunity to participate in the American Portfolio's DEI Internship Fellows Program. We've attached our bios in the chat section of this call so you can read a more detailed description of our backgrounds.
Hi, everyone. I'm Daniela. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I just graduated from South Pasadena High School. I'm going to be attending Mount St. Mary's University in the fall here in LA, and I'll be studying nursing. Today, I will be presenting the following sections: pitching, social media, awards programs, crisis management and mitigation, and Anna and I will both be presenting corporate communications.
Hi, I'm Anna. I'm from Woodmere, New York on Long Island and just graduated from Hewlett High School. I am now currently a student at Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana, and will be studying business management. For this presentation, I will be presenting the following sections: media relations, press releases, speaking engagements, and corporate social responsibility.
This summer, we were tasked to create a public relations guide geared towards financial advisors who are seeking to promote their practices and publicize themselves and their businesses without incurring the cost of traditional advertising or hiring a public relations firm. Throughout the presentation, we will address you as if you are AP-affiliated financial advisors looking to incorporate public relations into your practice.
As an investment professional, you control every facet of operating a successful practice. If your business mix does not already include public relations, it should.
As we began our public relations project, we took the time to meet with a variety of subject matter experts in the public relations field. During our meeting with Eric Hartstock, he encouraged us to watch a TED Talk by Simon Sinek focused on his golden circle theory. While the two of us were already familiar with this TED Talk from Virtual Enterprise, we rewatched it together with a new perspective.
For those of you not familiar with this TED Talk, Simon Sinek has a simple but powerful model for inspirational leadership, starting with a golden circle and the question why. His examples include Apple, Martin Luther King Jr., and the Wright brothers. The piece of information that stood out the most to us was that people do not buy what you do, but why you do it. We realized that it is more important for a company or advisor to identify their purpose and what they believe in before addressing what they want to sell or provide to customers.
We believe this guide can familiarize financial advisors with the principles of public relations, which, if applied correctly and diligently, can save them thousands of dollars.
Public relations is critical to business operations because it is used to communicate vital company messaging to clients, the public, and the press. Public relations is a necessary tool to build a trusted relationship between a financial advisor and their audience.
Public relations facilitates communication through the issuance of press releases, social media, and a variety of other means that will be discussed later in both the presentation and the guide. Public relations also helps to manage a company's public image and anticipate crises. In addition, public relations increases a company's credibility and influence because it is earned media and not paid media.
Another advantage of public relations is that third-party endorsements, such as journalists who speak on behalf of an advisor, can increase credibility in addition to self-promotion. This provides advisors with free press, which can attract major attention.
The term public relations is generally misunderstood. Most people believe that public relations, marketing, and advertising are one and the same. However, the key difference between these three concepts is their primary focus. Public relations emphasizes the building of relationships between an organization or individual and is used for the purpose of managing the client's image. Marketing emphasizes the promotion of products and services for revenue purposes. And advertising is a communication tool used by marketers to get customers to act. This infographic highlights the remainder of the differences between the three concepts.
Some would argue that public relations is a mix of journalism, psychology, and lawyering. It is also important to note that in this age of technology and innovation, the definition of public relations is constantly changing, especially within the spheres of social media and digital marketing. This guide will discuss how a financial advisor can utilize public relations tactics to positively promote his or her brand without incurring the cost of hiring a public relations agency.
One of the biggest differences between public relations and other methods of promoting a business, such as marketing and advertising, is that public relations is earned media, meaning that all publicity is achieved through pitching or convincing influencers to cover your message. Marketing and advertising are paid media, meaning that companies pay for marketing efforts and ad campaigns. And depending on the type and frequency of the paid media you choose to use, the cost can be quite substantial. For instance, business owners should expect to spend approximately $5,000 or more a month for a marketing agency to handle paid media alone. In the chat area of this call, we've included this graphic as well as the previous one to browse through at your leisure.
You aligned with AP because the firm was formed by like minded, independent financial professionals, free to practice in the manner they see fit. Like most advisors, you've chosen this profession to help people pursue their life goals while avoiding potential financial pitfalls. You are committed to showing people how to build their financial future soundly, efficiently, and healthily so they can retire with ease. You want to position your practice in a way that affords you opportunities to grow revenue by offering sound advice, reliable products, and stellar services so you can retain existing clients and acquire new investors.
It stands to reason that your brand is extremely important because it identifies who you are and establishes a level of trust with your clients and the public. Your brand identity is vital in communicating your message to clients, the public, and the media, especially on communication channels where you display messaging such as the methods shown on the screen.
Public relations can help your practice because it focuses on creating a positive public image through relationship building and reputation management. At the rate media is growing and technology is evolving, public relations exposes financial advisors to a variety of audiences that may have been considered unreachable years ago. Unreachable is no longer in the AP dictionary. By incorporating public relations into your business mix, the effort you put in will promote your brand to a larger audience, which will in turn establish credibility and generate acquisitions.
As mentioned earlier, the average cost that a financial advisor spends on hiring a public relations agency is approximately $5,000 a month, and that cost can increase based on the full scope of a project or campaign. However, many financial advisors do not realize how simple and easy it is to manage their own public relations. While most advisors may claim that they do not have the time or resources to manage their own public relations, this guide will provide you with general knowledge and some tools to do so. The amount of time and effort put into this virtually free process will determine the return on investment.
As an independent financial advisor, you are usually the person who helps lead others in their decision making. But for now, let us help you on the right path.
Corporate communications is essentially how a business communicates internally with its staff members and shareholders and externally with the press and the public.
Corporate communications is a valuable tool for a financial advisor because it helps a business to determine and build its voice, vision, goals, values, and brand identity. In addition, corporate communications help to keep employees and shareholders aware of the company's direction. This ensures employee engagement and makes them feel more connected.
Some of the key objectives of corporate communications are that it allows you to be transparent with employees and customers, helps build credibility and establish expertise in the industry, and prevents miscommunication.
Also, an important tip in creating a corporate communication strategy is to take the time to do it right. Media relations is the relationship and interaction as with the press, including editors, reporters, and journalists, collectively referred to as influencers. Examples of media relations include television, social media, radio, print media, blogs, and podcasts. Identifying the appropriate media outlets is a critical step in the process of developing one's public relations. You must know your message and do research. Make it a priority to share your company's news and initiatives with the public and to secure coverage through good media relationships.
A pitch is a short, written, or verbal communication regarding news that can be of interest to journalists and influencers. Pitches are sent out to influencers to provide them with a brief company message that can benefit from public exposure. The goal of pitching is to convince influencers to write articles, which then leads to free publicity for you. As a financial advisor, one of your main goals is to retain clients. When a story about you is published, the coverage creates an opportunity for you to reach a large audience, as well as broadcast your message to existing clients, peers, and the public at large. As a financial advisor, you know how to be persuasive when it comes to maintaining existing and securing new clients, and you can hone in on those same skills when creating a pitch.
A press release, often referred to as a newswire or news release, is an official statement issued to news outlets that provides company related announcements or news. A press release gives financial advisors the opportunity to express a message in their way, distribute news quickly and cost effectively, seek and secure media coverage and publicity, and expose their brands and message to a wider audience. There are different types of press releases a financial advisor should focus on, and specific ways to ensure your press release is newsworthy. Also, as a financial advisor, it is important that you have lists of contacts to ensure your press releases reach the right people. Here is an example of a press release template created by American Portfolios to be used by affiliated financial advisors, which is also included in the chat area of this call. It provides a great example of how a press release should be written and formatted. All you have to do is fill in the blanks.
Social media has completely changed how we connect with one another. It's the fastest, easiest, and most efficient way to get your message out to the public. 223 million people in the United States alone have some form of social media. The reach that it brings a financial advisor is unmatched. According to Forbes, 85% of financial advisors use social media for business, and 80% of these social advisors gain new clients, resulting in nearly $5 million in average asset gain directly attributed to social media use. Social media is also a great way to contact existing clients and peers, and it's an easy-to-use way to find new clients. If people want to know about you or your company, they are most likely going to check your social media before attempting to do anything else. The goal is to engage and interact with your audience and to cater to their needs.
Speaking engagements offer you the opportunity to give a formal presentation in front of an audience on a topic relevant to your expertise and business acumen. Speaking engagements generally garner attention from the press, which helps position you as a thought leader among peers, as well as a knowledgeable and trusted resource for clients. As a financial advisor, it is important to stand out from the crowd, and there are specific ways to do so. It is also important to get out on the speaking circuit.
Recognition programs, otherwise known as awards programs, increase and validate your expertise and status by earning recognition from your peers, your community, and the press. They enhance your reputation and symbolize your success within the financial services industry. They are an easy and accessible way for financial advisors to attract prestige and credibility to their brand. Recognition programs are important because firms can be recognized for their efforts and achievements, and winning an award often results in a published profile or press release online or in print, which can offer great press for your business. As a financial advisor, you can easily nominate yourself for an award, and most applications are free of charge. On the screen are a few websites that you can visit that offer recognition programs to financial advisors. These are by no means the only outlets offering recognition programs to financial advisors, so it's highly recommended that AP affiliated advisors conduct their own research to determine which programs are suited best to their brand and practice.
Corporate social responsibility, or CSR, is a set of guidelines that address responsibility standards that governmental organizations and nonprofits must follow. It also includes the socially responsible initiatives and causes a company chooses to engage in to give back to the community in which they conduct business and for the betterment of the world at large. The ideology of CSR has its roots in corporate philanthropy. Embracing socially responsible policies and initiatives is an important factor in attracting and retaining customers, which is essential to an advisor's long-term success. EP embraces social responsibility and makes it a priority to work with various nonprofit organizations, such as VEI. Without this partnership, Daniela and I would not be here giving you this presentation today.
Crisis management has become an increasingly important aspect to public relations. How one handles a crisis or unexpected event can make or break a business. Crisis management is designed to protect an organization and its stakeholders from threats and to reduce the impact felt by threats. And by having a plan in place, it can help preserve your company's image. Corporate communications are a vital part of controlling the situation in a way that doesn't cause everlasting damage to your brand identity and reputation. Even a lack of a response can cause damage to a company, where silence can be deemed complicit or infer guilt. We want to thank all of you for being with us today and for listening to our presentation. While we would have loved to be there in person, the truth is that because I live in LA, I wouldn't have been able to have this experience and work with this specific department in the first place. And this just all goes to show that in these uncertain and changing times, we are capable of so much more than we think.
Exactly, Daniela. We also want to give a special shout out to Nicole and Carol for working with us and acting as our mentors for the duration of the internship. It has truly been a pleasure collaborating with you and gaining this worthwhile experience. Thank you again.
Thank you, Anna and Daniela. At this time, we will begin a 10-minute Q&A. If you would like to ask a question, please use the raise hand feature in your Teams menu options. Anyone? Who will be our first? Steve, you can unmute your mic.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Fabulous presentation. Very, very impressed with you two young ladies, and you spoke beautifully. I thought the presentation was really well done, and I learned a great deal. I'm responsible for information security, and I was wondering about crisis management and corporate communications within crisis management. When thinking about crisis management, are you thinking about things like incidents that might occur that could involve the general public and how one would communicate what was happening in those instances?
Yes. So in the guide, more specifically, we talk about it, but I mentioned about how there needs to be a crisis management plan and team that has to give information out to the general public and to constantly update that, and how that we are responsible to give responses and provide knowledge to them so as to not bring upon any detrimental factors to ourselves. And I also talk about reputational risk and behavioral intentions, where I mention that in responses that we do give out, it's important to address where we stand in this situation, how what we do affects other people, and to separate fact from fiction, so as there's no room for any concern of that. So that's all mentioned more specifically in the guide.
Look forward to seeing the guide. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Damon, I believe you have a question?
Well, I just wanted to make a comment that I thought the presentation was tremendous. In fact, at first I thought it was a recording because you were so smooth that I thought you actually recorded the presentation. I asked Dalchin, I said, is this a recording? Because you did it so well. And usually when it's done that well, it's been recorded, edited, re-recorded. So I take my hat off. You guys did a great job. And it was easy to understand. So this is going to create a guide from this, is we're going to end up with a booklet. Is that the plan?
Yes. So pretty much at the beginning of the internship, it was mainly, we spent about a week and a half just solely doing research and learning exactly ourselves what public relations is, what the difference is between marketing, public relations, and advertising, and familiarizing ourselves with the topics that we each presented to become our own subject matter experts, as we met with individuals such as Eric Hartstock, as we mentioned in the beginning, and we became more familiar with the topics. And when we chose our topics, we kind of divided and just really keyed in. And yes, so we're right now in the works of creating the guide itself. It's gone through at least 4 or 5 sets of eyes at the moment, and hopefully, I think by the end of the year, Nicole said, if I'm correct, we should have a solid first draft of it.
Yeah.
Maybe the guide could be totally similar to what we just saw, which is not a piece of paper, but an electronic version of you speaking like you did and going through the book. Maybe it should be virtual and not a piece of paper.
Well, it's actually funny you say that, because originally this presentation was about 40 minutes in length, and we went into a lot more detail with each section. And last week we recorded the whole thing, and we had discussed with Melissa and the entire department how we were going to create a series of videos to post on Studio 454 to teach the financial advisors, so they can watch the video specifically for social media if they're interested, or press releases. So actually, we did record
You could break that presentation into its pieces, its elements, and then produce the elements versus creating a book. Because we're trying to get away from using paper, which is not sustainable. So and I think people are more willing to listen and watch something than read something. I mean, I learned a lot.
I 100% agree. But yes, we did it.
And it's good that it's broken into pieces, because it's an attention span issue. How long is somebody, I think, has jumped to the thing they want to look at or learn about, it works. So that's interesting. You're heading in that direction, which is good.
Yeah, I'd like to add something to this. This is Jay Lewis.
Oh, sure, Jay, go ahead.
All right, I just want to compliment you all on a great job you've done. And one of your previous persons commenting, Steve Kramweiser, about, I don't know, many years ago, was an intern in my firm, which was very similar to American Portfolio. So Steve is, I remember when he was in high school. So one never knows what could happen in life. But the point is that you made some great points. One thing you could possibly elaborate on is, which I utilize on public relations and the press, is also to develop relationships with the writers, the press, the editors in the trade journals or the local newspapers as a source of information, so that the planner, the local planner, could get mentioned in press on a consistent basis, and also potentially get photographs of themselves in the local publications. So it could be a way of expanding that. Developing relationships is critically important in every aspect of a business, but for client relationship, but also trade relationships. Be the source of information. And that's, I think, is great value out there.
That's actually.
I definitely. Oh, Sorry.
No, that's Jay, that's an excellent point, but Anna, go, you were gonna say.
I was just gonna say, I mean, one of my topics was media relations, and I have an entire section in the guide just devoted to the importance of local media and having that personal relationship with local reporters and journalists, and how, for example, New York City and a suburban town, your local media outlet could be the New York Times compared to, let's just say, the Nassau Heralds, and it might be a little bit easier to get a story in the Heralds than the New York Times. So I definitely talk about that, and also how that's just the first step in securing good media relations.
I just want to get to Iris Blank. I see that she has her hand up, and Iris, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm here with Jay. So it's my pleasure, and I want to give a big shout out to American Portfolios for really having faith in our remote work and all that you did to make this happen, because this really sets an exemplar of what's possible, and being able to tap talent no matter where they are, whether they're in California, or New York, or New Jersey, or wherever. So thank you very much. We hope to put this presentation on the website to the students. We are so proud of you. You are incredible. I hope VE has taught you a few things, and you were able to apply them here on this internship. So we thank you so much for making this opportunity available to these young people.
Thank you, Iris. That's great. I believe we have time for one more question before we start the second presentation. So,
Nicole, I would like to just jump in. Daniela and Anna, great job. We really enjoy your presentation. You guys did some really good work in a very short period of time. I guess my question for you guys, I don't know if this was part of your scope, but what advice have you given our team in terms of ensuring that we use all this work that you have done? Because you have started this by saying you're developing this for our financial advisors. What advice have you given our team to ensure that we utilize what you have done?
Daniela, you want to go? Or?
Yeah, I can go. I mean, I wouldn't say we've given them advice. I think they've more like given us real advice about it, in the sense that I think that when given this guide, we knew it was very informative and it needed to be understandable, and we wanted to make that known because Anna and I both talked about this, in that we didn't even really understand public relations that much coming into this project, so it was a learning process for us as well. So I think the advice that if we were to give would be that it's understandable and that it's informative but simple, so it doesn't confuse anybody, because it can be easily confused with anything. And I think it was more them giving us advice, but the videos also, I think, are just a great way to utilize the resources that you have, especially Studio 454, which not many companies can even say that they have a studio that does that. And especially if we have specific videos given to them, it's really we really want to cater to financial advisors' needs and what they want, rather than just bombarding them with a bunch of information and giving them a book that's like, okay, here, now learn how to do public relations. So it's like taking them step by step so they're not overwhelmed and they understand, like, this is good for them. They can do it as long as they try and put in effort.
Okay. At this time, the Q&A is concluded, and we'll begin our second presentation. Please remember, everyone, to just mute your mics and turn off your cameras, as that saves some bandwidth. So we'll give it to Arif and Jacob now.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to our 2020 VE Interns presentation. This presentation, we're going to be sharing with you our daily activities throughout this internship, some of the projects we worked on, and our main takeaways from this experience.
Hello, everybody. My name is Reeve Khan, and I am originally from South Florida. Yes, I am from South Florida, not New York. I'm a freshman in college at Lynn University, which is a college over here in South Florida. Last year, I was a CFO of my VEI firm last year called Imprint LLC, And finally, I am the co-founder of my very own business called Tamkin.
My name is Jacob Veeder. I'm from Huntington, New York, and next year I'll be a senior at Walt Whitman High School, and I'm also going to be the CFO of my VE firm. What made this internship such a unique experience is that, of course, we had to work from home. So it started with the virtual orientation where we got to meet the other interns and some of the staff that we would be working with. And this was cool because I got to meet people like Arif, who lives in Florida. So without this internship, I probably would have never met him and never worked with him. So it was just really cool how we got to work online. We did most of our work through Microsoft Teams, working on documents together, PowerPoints, things like that. And then once a week, we had a meeting with the marketing and corporate communications department to just share our work and get feedback from everyone.
So now, throughout this whole internship, we have had to work on several different assignments. First of all, we had to have an introduction to American portfolios. This is really where we got to learn more about the broker-dealer itself and what a brokerage firm actually does and its purpose. And also, we were able to gain some general information in terms of what digital marketing actually is. On the advertising side, we went from start to finish when it comes to creating these ads. We had to design the creatives. We had to learn how to use the actual ad managers on LinkedIn and Facebook, and also learn the importance of having a very specific target audience, especially when it comes with these financial advisors. Finally, with the AI list, we were able to go through the whole data hygiene process. We were able to pull information from these financial advisors who we were trying to target. We had to format and organize these lists in order to effectively target those financial advisors.
So our project had two main goals. The first was with the social media ads, and our goal was to generate new leads via white paper downloads. Our second goal with the AI listing was to increase the uses and value of our AI leads.
Now, let me get more into our project outline. So, as we know, organization is a very important part in terms of anything that we do. So, we had to make sure that we kept those organization skills within the work that we were able to accomplish. We had many different projects we had to work on, so we had to ensure that we were always organized and finished our work in a timely manner. Now, as you can see, this is a Excel spreadsheet chart that we were able to use to effectively organize what we had to do on a day-to-day basis. Using this chart, we were able to stay organized and make sure that we got all of our work done and collaboratively in an effective way.
So this summer, we worked 6 weeks, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 3. And this is what our average day was like. So we would start the day with the intro meeting where we would meet with our supervisor, Bill, and just plan out the day and review any work that we've done previously. The majority of the day would be me and Arif collaborating on work together. As a team, we were getting our assignments done and just using each other for feedback, getting our work done in the best quality possible. Finally, at the end of the day, we'd meet with Bill again for a final meeting, just go over, present what we did, and brainstorm how we can improve our work.
Now it's time to get into our very first project, which is the social media campaigns. So the three platforms that we used were Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And these were really the three best combinations of platforms that we could have used. And I'll explain why. First of all, Facebook is the most used social media platform out of all of them. So it was very important for us to use Facebook. That way we could effectively reach whoever we wanted to reach through Facebook. Second of all, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is basically the professional version of LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is the professional version of Facebook. This is really where people are looking for more hiring opportunities and people are just looking to network with other people. Finally, for Instagram, as we all know, Instagram is really the future when it comes to social media. And now, as an American Portfolios employee, we wanted to make sure that we look towards the future with, of course, Instagram. Now, with these four, we had four main key performance indicators and goals throughout this whole process with the social media ads. First of all, we had to generate our leads. Now these leads would be the financial advisors who we were looking to convert to American Portfolios. Now, with those financial advisors, we have to make sure that we effectively formatted them in the right artificial intelligence list. Finally, with the call to action, it was for the financial advisors to download our white papers. This way they can interact with them, read them, and hopefully choose to move forward with American portfolios.
So the first step of this project was creating our ads, and we used a program called Canva. So this was really helpful because we could take all the ideas that we brainstormed and just make them a reality. On the screen right now, those are some of the creatives that we thought about and worked on, but eventually we narrowed it down to 4 campaigns that we went with and uploaded into social media. So our first ad campaign is called The Frustrated Man. And the idea behind this ad is we really wanted to relate with a financial advisor who's experiencing difficulty with their broker dealer. So on the left, you see it says struggling to find clients, and on the right, inadequate technology. So we're trying to just say, hey, we understand the problem that you're having, and American Portfolios can help fix this for you. Our second ad campaign is called Work Independently. And with this ad, we really want to just market all the services that AP provides to financial advisors. So you see, all these images have backgrounds of Long Island scenery. We have the AP blue, and we're just telling financial advisors that they could operate their way with American Portfolios because we provide marketing and technology support, practice management offerings, and we also say that we're a 6-time broker dealer of the year.
Next up for our third social media campaign is called How to Market Your Practice. So now the inspiration for this ad really came from the whole idea that everybody is here working from home. And what we were able to do with this ad is connect the fact that everybody is working from home due to COVID-19 and the fact that people still have to know how to properly market what they do, especially as a financial advisor. So we went with more of a look that would connect with people who are working from home. And finally, for our last social media campaign is called Need Clients. With this ad, we wanted more of a clean and simple look to really catch the eye of the financial advisors. And the whole purpose of this ad is to connect with the same issues with them and their clientele base. As you can see with the questions, we have looking for new clients or ways to retain their current clients. This way we can continue to connect with those issues that they have with their clientele base. And also with the call to action, they can download our free white paper, which allows them to interact with it, read it, and hopefully move forward.
So those were the 4 creatives that we decided to go with and upload into social media. So what you're seeing here is how our advertisements would look if a financial advisor was just scrolling through either LinkedIn or Facebook and they happen to run into one of our ads. So on the left, that's our stay at home campaign, and that's on LinkedIn. And then to the right, you see on Facebook, it's our operate independently ad. And this just shows exactly what they're seeing and how it's presented to them.
What exactly is the artificial intelligence that we use here at American Portfolios? Well, as you can see from this identity graph, the artificial intelligence really allows us to take a deeper look into our target market, which are, once again, the financial advisors. As you can see from the graph, we were able to target 260 million Americans with the artificial intelligence. And what it showed is that the average consumer has around 4.2 email addresses and 3.2 devices at home. We can use this information to our advantage when it comes to targeting and finding brand new financial advisors. Also, as Forrest research has determined, in less than a year ago, 68% of business to business sales are completed before a company ever reaches out to a broker dealer directly. Now, what this tells us, it allows us to see which financial advisors are looking to make a move before they even speak to anyone directly. Now, this allows us to be ahead of the game and effectively target and market to these financial advisors before they even speak to anybody about moving.
So how did we work with the AI list? So what we had to do is when the AI program pulls all this information from people, it's really in a raw form where it has their email and all their information. So what we had to do was make custom AI lists based on certain things that we were looking for. For example, we formatted some of our lists by the source of the financial advisor, such as whether they were on the blog, whether they were on the website, or whether they interacted with one of our ads. We also formatted lists by keyword searches, like if somebody was looking up switching broker dealer or financial advisor salary, we could see that and then target those people through our ads because we have their information that we got from the AI. So yeah, once we formatted those lists and we got the exact people that we wanted, those lists can be directly uploaded to either Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram, and only those people are seeing the advertisements that we made specifically for them. The interesting thing is that Facebook and LinkedIn, they require different formats for their AI lists, so we had to make a second version of all of them and just make sure that we were getting all the people that we wanted to target with our ads into those ad managers. Finally, the last thing that we did with the AI list is we created abandoned cart emails. You might be thinking, what does that mean? Abandoned cart. Well, imagine you're online shopping, you put something in your cart, but you never finish the purchase. Basically, a company can reach out to you and say, hey, we noticed you never bought this item. Do you still want to purchase it? Our idea was that if we could see financial advisors who are visiting the website but not scheduling a call, why don't we reach out to them and send an email saying, hey, you never scheduled a call. Do you still want to work with us?
And that's exactly right. As Jacob just explained, we were able to use the act on email marketing to our advantage. So on the left, you can see an actual draft that we wrote for the financial advisors who were never able to schedule their call. Now, with this email, we wanted to keep it short and sweet, very concise and straight to the point. That way, they would want to click on an email like this where they don't have to do a lot of reading, but they can understand it, easily read it, and hopefully choose to schedule their call with us after they read that email. Now, throughout this whole internship, we have been able to learn a lot. For starters, we were able to learn brand new techniques and languages when it comes to marketing, and especially with digital marketing. We were able to go through the whole ad creation process from the designing the creatives to putting them in the ad managers and to finally putting them in to upload them. And that was through Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Also, we were able to learn the importance of having a specific target audience, especially when it comes with these financial advisors, in terms of who we should target to. Also, with the automated emails, this is how we were able to connect and communicate with those financial advisors who we would like to convert to American portfolios. Also, we were able to write up a script for a video commercial. This was a project that we had planned out, but unfortunately, we're not able to complete. However, it was still an amazing experience learning and just going through the whole process of writing our own video commercial. And finally, we were able to adapt and work effectively with Microsoft Teams. And as everybody knows, this has been a challenge for everybody who is really used to working in a workplace. But me and Jacob have effectively been able to communicate and collaborate with Microsoft Teams. And looking back on it now, I can see seeing that I am the co-founder of my very own business, I will 100% be able to use a lot of these skills and techniques I've learned throughout this internship for my own use in my own business. So I'm very grateful for being able to learn all of these new skills.
For the past 6 weeks, we have gained so much valuable experience from this internship. We learned new technology skills such as working with Microsoft Teams, PowerPoint, Excel, Word, things like that. We made network connections within American Portfolios and VE. We learned marketing expertise. And lastly, we adapted to at-home work, which will be very helpful to me because next year I'm going to be the CFO of my VE firm and I have to lead my class from home since my school is doing a hybrid model. So this experience working with Microsoft Teams and just getting used to working on calls, things like that, will be very valuable for me this upcoming year. Finally, we just want to give a big thank you to AP for this experience.
So
It's Lisa, by the way, and it's such a pleasure to see all of you again. I know we met when in orientation, and what a great job. I'm always impressed, very impressed, and it's good to hear that you got some valuable skills with teams and of course a great presentation from all of you. So real proud of you guys, and I'm happy to to hear that the remote working works. And I'm gonna have a little chat with you at the end, and I'd like to hear more about that. But again, it's a pleasure and great work, great job, and we'll see you soon. I'll see you at the end of the internship. So
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Lisa.
yes, you're welcome.
So Dave Moulter, I believe you have a question.
Yes, thanks, Nicole. Nice job, Jacob. Could you speak a little, and Dave, I'm part of the new business development team here at American Portfolios. Can you just speak a little to your personal use of social media, as we are always trying to engage, say, the younger generation of our clients, of our advisors, bringing on new advisors. Can you speak to, the platforms, how much social media consumption and time do you spend just personally, if you don't mind sharing?
Okay, yeah, sure. So, yeah, when we started working on this project, we were mainly going to focus on Facebook and LinkedIn. And me and Arif both agreed that we use Instagram so much that we felt like it would be very beneficial for AP to start putting their ads on there. And yeah, personally, I use social media a lot, especially Instagram, YouTube, things like that. So yeah, I think definitely the next generation of financial advisors, it would be very important if AP started reaching out on social media more to target those people.
Yeah, for sure. So actually the platform I use the most is Instagram. I'm not really on Facebook. I'm not really on Twitter or anything. So the platforms I use the most is Instagram and LinkedIn. Um from a business standpoint though, um I would say that Instagram is probably the easiest one. And especially considering like, the next generation of financial advisors, Instagram is will most likely be the most pivotal in terms of finding that next generation of financial advisors.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? Oh, Steve. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, building on Dave's thought process, in terms of what the younger generation might be looking for in terms of investing and speaking with someone that would be in the know about how to place their money, what are people your age like thinking about in terms of aligning with a financial advisor or just investing in general? Are there themes that we should be thinking about that your generation is thinking about?
Yeah, for sure. So, really, with our generation, I could say what we look for is the easiest way possible to do something. We want everything handed to us. We want everything just to be outlined for us, so that way we don't have to put in as much work. So, I would say the easier, the better. Especially when it comes to handling money, financials, because that's something that's very serious. And also, schools don't really teach financial literacy, which I think is a big mistake. You know,
Right.
yes, like financial literacy should be taught in schools, but it's not. So when we reach the outside world, having a financial advisor is a smart thing to do for sure. If you are in the position to have one. So I would say definitely the easier it is, the better. Just have everything outlined for the next people coming up.
And also, I would say, because like our generation is growing up in a pandemic, I think it'll be very important to just assure people that their money is safe. Because like in times like this where so much is uncertain, people are definitely going to look for that when they're handling their money in the future.
Yeah, most
Thank
definitely.
you.
So let me ask Jacob and Arif a question. Well, Arif, you're the CEO of your actual company, and Jacob, I think you said you're going to become the CFO of your virtual company. Okay, but let's talk about CEO and founder. Do you think it's important for CEOs and founders to speak up politically and make social statements outside of their business?
Well, with that, I believe it depends. It depends on what the mission is for the business. So I can say for my personal business, we are all about, Black excellence, supporting the Black community and things like that. So for my business, yes, it would be smart to pick a side in terms of what's going on right now in this world. And that's called controversial marketing, I believe. So in terms of speaking about politics and picking a side when it comes to these, I would say that it would depend on what the mission is for the actual business at hand. But if it's like, say if it's American portfolios, I would say no. Seeing that the target market in terms of the consumers for American portfolios is very broad. Not really specific in terms of a specific political region. So that's probably the best way I could answer that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Jacob, do you have a thought on that? Should you become CEO of a company, do you believe in CEO activism?
Yeah, I think I agree with the Reef. It just depends on the company. Like something like American Portfolios, where you're targeting financial advisors, not really like one area of the political spectrum. I feel like it's better to try and not offend people. But yeah, something like a Reef's business, I feel like it would make more sense to do that.
Interesting. I could tell you, by the way, just so you know, that as CEO of American Portfolios, I am engaged in activism because I think it's important for the community, and it has nothing to do with the product or even our customers. I understand it may offend some people, but I think that companies have a responsibility to be good stewards, to do good work in the community. And sometimes when you do good work in the community, it involves speaking up. And there's examples of that. Look at Benioff of Salesforce. Look at some of the companies, some of the leaders in business today that have taken that chance to speak up when they feel they had to make a social statement. And they knew it could upset some of their customers. But I was curious to see how you young people felt about it. But it's good. It'll be interesting to see. I think going forward, we're going to see more CEOs making social statements and standing up for what they believe is right outside of their product and their customers. But there's a risk.
Yeah, of course, and I think I could think of one specific example as terms of like what you're talking about. I don't know if anybody watches like the NFL and stuff, but I know that Roger Goodell, who's the commissioner for the NFL, he spoke up after years of players wanting him to speak up, and finally this year in 2020 he spoke up about what's going on in the community as far as the politics side of it goes. So I think like that move was like very surprising for everybody because I don't think anybody really expected somebody like Roger Goodell to do something like that. And I do agree with you where like we will see more C level people speak up about those issues because like you said it for sure is important for the community as a whole. I think it's important.
Actually, I got more complaints from my kids. Dad, what are you doing? Yeah, you guys did a great job. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, if there are no other questions, this concludes the 2020 VEI Intern Marketing and Corporate Communications final presentations. And we hope that you found this event beneficial and enlightening. Thank you all once again for joining us today.
Very proud of all of you. Excellent job, team.
Excellent job.
Round of applause.
Great job.
Great job.
Thank you, everybody.